Let me introduce to you Robbie Novak, otherwise known as Kid President.
Kid President. Whoa! Okay, this is a good-looking crowd. Hi. Look around you. Look to the people next to you. Give them a high five. Yeah. People behind you, beside you, everywhere. Give them a high five. Yeah, that's what I like to see, high fives. Hello, my name is Kid President. I'm on a mission to make the world more awesome. It's so good to see you. Now, I'll admit, I don't usually like to talk to grown-ups. But you're not ordinary grown-ups. You're a bunch of weirdos who believe in kids. Yeah, weirdos! Yeah, you guys know what I'm talking about. This is a room full of awesome Q conference. So I know this is a conference with education and technology. And those are two things I care a lot about. Education is powerful. Technology is powerful. When you connect the two, fireworks. Thanks for being people who make fireworks happen. And if you're having fun, just talk about it with this hashtag here. There's some people here watching this online right now. You can use this hashtag right here, not at Q. Hey everybody, what's up people online who are watching this? Or you could use this one, I like this one, Q-less. But for all of you who are at Q today, you're in for something really special. My man, my brother, the one behind the camera, Brad, he's gonna be talking to you today. He's awesome. He'll probably cry on stage. I'm gonna call it, he probably will cry. Be nice to him anyway, please. He's my friend, my brother. So for everybody at Q, thanks for being awesome grown-ups. Put your heads together for my friend, my brother, Brad Montague. Burr, burr, burr.
Hi. Hi. Oh, good morning. Hi. My name is Brad, and I'm awesome. And by awesome, I mean scared out of my mind. It's the first session. And not only, I'm in a room. This is a room full of really smart human beings. You're so smart, you teach other human beings. And you're the smartest of the people who teach the human beings because you're the ones who can change your ringtone. You're the ones people look to turn things on, to make things work. And I get to speak to you. This room, if the world were a Twinkie, this would be the cream filling. This was it here. This group, I'm really honored because there's some content happening here where people are talking about getting students to dream about the future, innovation, using digital learning. If we were to put our heads together right now, we could build a rocket. We could do something massive. But instead you're gonna listen to me, okay? And so I am super honored to be in front of you, and as badly as I wish you all were up here, and it was just me back there, and I just listened to all of you, but that's not how conferences work, so I have to be up here. I'd like to begin by telling you a story, and it's a really awesome story. This is a story about once upon a time, there's a group of humans who were super smart, and they came to Palm Springs. And standing in front of them was a pale man they had never heard of. Very pale, very, very awkward. But he was a man who believed in kids just like they do. And so I don't know all of you. I don't know everything about you, but I know somehow, some way you work with children, and it is my great honor to be sharing something with you. So I just want to share my story. I'm normally behind a camera. I shoot these little videos where we make things out of cardboard. My little brother-in-law plays Kid President, and now I'm asked to stand in front of you and talk words good. I hope that, so normally it's my brother-in-law and I. We've always made things as a family. It's a family project. In fact, my wife and kids are here today. Hi, little people. And we make things as a family. Robbie lives across the street, and we've always just had fun making things. And then with Kid President, we were in the midst of, we had just been working with lots of kids. We run a summer camp that's about service learning. So we had been around kids who were doing things like building wells in Africa. There was a group of girls who found out there are kids, elementary school kids who didn't have food in their home, so they started a soup kitchen. Like, these are girls in high school who started a soup kitchen. At an age when I couldn't eat with a fork, they started a soup kitchen. And I was with another group, another girl, it was at our camp. She had started a beauty pageant for boys and girls with special needs. And yeah, and then in the middle of that, I go home and I'm on Facebook and there's an election happening. And I see all the grown-ups and they're talking and yelling and typing things in all caps. And I was like, let me tell you about some kids. You should listen to them. Why aren't we listening to kids? And my wife said, well, what if Robbie were president? And so we got him in his Easter suit, put him behind an old record player, and I began to ask questions. And it launched us on an adventure. And this is a glimpse of what that looked like.
Few things. It's time to be more awesome. All right, Williams.
Wilson.
I can't Beyonce. It was magical.
Hurry, Kid President.
I weigh 61 pounds. That's why I'm so heavy. The world would be more awesome if.
Every interview was as good as this one with Kid President.
What's this called?
The pencil sharpener.
I like it.
Treat everybody like it's their birthday. This is nice, people. You got air coming through your nose. You got heartbeat. That means it's time to do something. Science. You hear? You take up space, you matter. Am I getting everybody? Am I getting everybody? What do you think, Big Columbus?
Fantastic.
Let's change the future. Create something that will make the world awesome.
Yeah. So this little family project has led us on a wild adventure. What started as something that just a few of our friends were watching turned into where lots of our new friends were watching. And we even found that one of the first people, a good friend of ours who's a great teacher, she told me, I showed a Kid President video in my class. And I immediately thought, oh, why would you do that? I thought you were a good teacher. Like, I have nothing educational to make or share. And she was like, no, it sparked a lot of good discussion. And then I began more and more to work with teachers to find how could we create things that would be great starters? How could we create things that would help a classroom? And we found our way in lots of classrooms, in lots of places. And while I'm making things that are for kids and people who used to be kids, it's hitting a group of people that I never quite dreamed. And I think a lot of it comes from something that a man who's one of my heroes, Mr. Fred Rogers, said. Yeah. So I actually just came this week. I got to be at the Fred Rogers Center. I got to speak there, and I wouldn't say I spoke there, I just cried a lot. Like, it was beautiful, and they were telling the story about how Mr. Rogers was asked to write something for a group of ophthalmologists, okay? And they wanted to be better, and they work with children because it's scary. And so Mr. Rogers was busy, and they said, okay, we'll have someone write something up, and then you spruce it up. So this assistant came, and she started to work on, what children developmentally needed to know about doctors coming and how this could help doctors be better as they work bedside with these children. And Mr. Rogers read it, and it was all the statistics and numbers, and then he scratched all of it out, and he wrote this. This is what he said they need to know. These doctors need to know. You were once a child too. Childhood's this great unifier, where I've seen people that I would normally be afraid of, and because I'm socially awkward, and then I think, oh, well, they used to be a kid too, and we can talk and we can open up. Or I've seen them, because my main collaborator in this is a child, people will open up and they will laugh, and we find ourselves being able to talk to the president or talk to the Secretary General of the UN or to Tom Hanks, and they talk to us with their eyes full of wonder because there's a kid involved. And so to create something that inspires people to remember what it's like to be a kid is sort of, well, it's why I do this. I want us all, if everybody could remember what it is like to be a kid. And you get that. You're already in there with them. You're in there and you see them and you remember what your childhood was like. My wife and I run a creative studio, and in that we have a sign that says, "Be who you needed when you were younger." And that's our marching orders. We dream about that. Yeah. So for me, there were those people when I was younger who looked at me and said, "I know you see that you're pale and awkward, but I see more." And so that's what we've tried to do. And right now, there's nearly 3 billion people in the world under the age of 20. And some people would see that number and go, "Oh no, there's more of them. There's more children we need to lock up. We need to hide." But you're weirdos, like Kid President said, and you see that number and you see hope and possibility. You see dreams. You see a future that's bright, that's full, because you see the world with wonder, with wisdom, and with whimsy. You believe that this number matters. It wasn't too much longer ago. I was part of that number, living on a farm in the middle of Tennessee, of a town about the size of this room, and I could have never imagined that, I love to make videos. In fact, I would set up a camera in my bedroom and shoot videos where I was talking about girls who didn't call me back, and writing poetry about cats, and just really weird stuff. And thank goodness YouTube did not exist yet. But I had this thing where I had to make things and film things, and what am I going to do with this weirdness that I have? And so I would have never imagined that these handmade things that we would do would be seen by so many people, and I would find myself at the center of this video series that then became a movement. We were almost done, and I said, I want to make a video I can be proud of, that I can show my kids, and created a video called A Pep Talk. And this was one that we put out into the world. It was sort of weird because Kid President left his desk, and then it was sort of like a guy trying to make a Terrence Malick film who doesn't know how to make one, and then it was like, what is this thing? But I knew it was from the heart, and we put it online, and then this thing happened, where I found out that other people needed a pep talk too. And it got crazy, where in just a few days, 1 million views. In another day, 5 million views. In another day, we're on the Today Show, and then CNN, and people are calling, and there's all these signals coming in saying, hey, could he be in this energy drink commercial? Hey, you guys should do this. Hey, I wrote this part for Kid President in a horror movie. He plays the devil. All these things. And I just shrunk down. No, this was not the plan. We must quit. We're stopping. But We had a family meeting. The family comes together, and they see that I'm broken. I'm scared. I'm not answering my phone, and I'm ready to quit. And the question is asked, what story do we want to tell? Why did we start this? Because we were having fun. Why did you keep doing it? Because it was helping people. Is it continuing to help people? Not me. Well, it could. And so we charted a course that would require us to say no to many things, but yes to the right things. And it's led to us being able to impact children in a positive way and impact other people. And along the way, I've learned a lot. But one of the biggest things is that in our world right now, especially right now, you see this, lots of things are contagious. Fear, anger, hate, viruses. But joy, hope, love, these are the best kind of contagious. And it is so, yeah. And so it's been so encouraging to see that people are drawn to content like this and drawn to things, and drawn to reminders that life is short, that life matters, that our education matters, that there's things we can all do and say to each other that make life better. So we film these in our home, and it's way fun. We love doing this together. And the way that we do this is I have something particular I want to say. A lot of times will approach school counselors or people who work in education to help me craft the messages, and I'll have these anchor points. But then I have these other moments where, as you know, children say really interesting things. So I will just have spaces where we play, and a lot of times that's where the best stuff comes from. For instance, early on, a lot of people were like, hey, Kid President, what political party do you support? I'm like, okay, I'll ask him. So, hey, Kid President, what political party do you support? What's that? So I was like, well, Robbie, there's Republicans, there's Democrats, there's the Whig Party, the historical thing, is all this. And then he's like, he got super bored and was like, I'm not in a party, I am a party. I was like, yeah, okay, that's better. And so a lot of times it's interesting. And so one of the things, I was recently cleaning out a hard drive, and I found this clip, and I want to show it to you guys because you understand children. You'll understand this. We were shooting a video, a touching tribute to moms. And so I did that thing where I asked him, hey, so I'll just ask him a few questions about moms. And this did not make it in the cut, and you'll see why.
In my belly, they taste so cheesy.
Look right here. Sing a song about moms.
Moms, keep doing what you're doing. Moms, keep shaking your booty. Moms, you're so good workers. You just got to shake that tail that your other mama gave you. Yeah, shake your tails. Yeah, keep working what you're doing. Keep what you're doing. Do what you're doing. Clean up my house and clean up my poop. Yeah, clean up, do what you're doing. Clean up my house, clean up my poop. Yeah, poop. Yeah,
That's enough. So that didn't make it in. Because we had to edit. We had to edit a little bit. It's interesting because if you are to take life that way, where you find these moments where there is space to play, there is this space to dream, and you let that happen. But in the decisions we make, we have these choices we have to make that help tell the story we want to tell. And it's interesting because we will, and with that video, I could have put that in and people probably would have watched and shared it, but it wouldn't have had the same oomph that it did. With the pep talk, people responded, and with recent videos, people have said, like, oh, thank you for your video, it changed my life. And you're like, oh, what? One guy said, thank you for your video, I quit my job. I said, well, no, it's not. But One of the things, this is again, one thing Fred Rogers talked about was that with him, there's a sacred space between all people. Sometimes that space is a TV in a person. Sometimes it's face-to-face. Sometimes it's a computer screen. Sometimes it's a phone or anything. But yet there is a space between any two people when we communicate and we can hear what needs to be heard. And so that's been our work, is as we put these silly little videos out, we hope that it connects in a bigger way than we ever dreamed. And it's led to us having to make hard choices. So some people will say, technology is the best. And then you're like, but then on the other side, technology is the worst. And you have to sort of choose which one you're on. And I don't think we have to fight that fight today. And I want to share with you just our story about being connected in the world and using technology to impact the world for good. Because so much of the work with Kid President has been about connection. And he doesn't have anything fancy. He has a tin can with string. And yet there's magic in a tin can and string. Because when we connect with Michelle Obama via can phone, she speaks a little differently. When we connect with people and you're holding a tin can, which I love to do, you're connected on a deeper level. And so I want to share with you our story. And we've had a whole lot of fun doing this together, and a lot of it's been Robbie and I connecting with each other. It's me trying to teach him what it looks like to be a leader, the kinds of things I want to pour into his life, and then he reflects those back. And sometimes it comes out a little funny, but it's always honest. And the big message that we keep in them is to treat everybody like it's their birthday. This is a thing my grandmother always tried to instill in me, because it's a way of teaching the golden rule. If you treat everybody like it's their birthday, you're not going to punch them. But also, if you think about it, if you walk around treating everybody like it's their birthday, then you're going to remember that they're a person worth celebrating, that there's somebody who celebrated the day they were born. And if they didn't, maybe you should, because that would change things. And in all of the work, I think this has been centered of treating everybody like it's their birthday. We put this in a video, and then we realized we have to live up to that. When I have a friend, Glennon, who was talking to me about hospice care. And she had a close friend in hospice care who was working in that area. And she said that as people are on their last days, as they're about to pass away, across the board, the thing that people say to them is, "I love you." Over and over, she would hear the final words people hear on this earth were, "I love you." And I think to my children, on the day they were born, I could barely speak, but I looked at them with my eyes full and just said to them, I don't know what else to say, but I love you. And for each of us, if the first and last words we hear on this earth are, "I love you," we spend a whole lot of time forgetting that and forgetting to say that and share that. So that's what our work has been about, is every little thing is about saying, "I love you." And when I try to say "I love you," I feel as though I was not exactly taught the right alphabet, so it comes out not as L-O-V-E, but as corn dog or something very odd. And so I want to share with you our adventures. One of the first choices that I've been learning to do, and I'm trying to make more, and a kid has taught me this, is to choose awesome. To choose awesome over boring. If you give them the option, they're going to choose awesome. Kid President talks about to take the road less traveled. Robert Frost said he took the road less traveled, and it hurt. There were rocks, thorns, glass, and his pants broke. Not cool, Robert Frost. But the path to awesome is worth taking. There's the average person says about 16,000 words a day. And so we have all these words in the English language we can say, nouns, adjectives, adverbs, present participles. We can say all these things, and we can combine them to say things. We can say lots of different, we can say things that are mean, we can say things that are meaningful. We can choose. And now that we have media, we can say them in many different combinations. And one of the things we've been having to learn, if we want to treat everybody like it's their birthday, we reach like millions of people each week online. And so we get a lot of nice people. We also get these people who forgot that they can be nice. And so we choose to hug the haters. So sometimes people will say things online like, this is a nicer one. He said, so Kid President kind of sucks, right? And then I was like, oh, everybody has good days and bad days. We love you, Tim. Hope you're doing better. And then he's like, I don't know who you are or how you found me, but I'm not having a bad day. You mind your own business. So I responded, hug. and then we started saying, we got our audience. We said, hey guys, our pal Tim's having a rough day. Could you help him? And then, so he says, this is ridiculous. This is not the real Kid President. So I sent him this. And then his friends got involved, and they're like, Tim's not normally like this. He's a really nice guy. Like, they're going to bat for Tim, and they're like, come on, Tim, ease up. And then finally, it goes on, and he says, you guys, this was fun. I'm sorry. You're right, I was having a bad weekend. And then he followed us. And he still does. And hater's gonna hate, but hugger's gonna hug. So you can try, I'll just hug you back. And so we've been finding ways with using media to do that. And our community has caught on to that, where we don't have to do a whole lot of policing or anything like that, because they've realized, oh, this is different. We're gonna make this space a space where, yeah, you can come in like that, but you're not gonna leave that way. And again, it works. This was posted 2 days ago on our page, where someone said that they are celebrating their 2-year anniversary of not committing suicide. And I thanked for the videos. And I sat there in just a ball of mush. Like, how in the world? I live in a town, again, about the size of this room, making little videos, and this connection spoke to her. So you never know what happens when you treat everybody like it's their birthday, or you treat your craft like it matters, or you treat your work like it's an expression, a loving expression of care to people and not just a thing you're doing, it is an act of love. When you do that, somehow, some way, we connect on a deeper level. And I'm in this room today because somebody told me that my story was important. I don't know who it was for you, but I had loving parents, but I was an odd child. My 4th grade teacher, now, I know I had great legs. But I had other problems. I was the kid who would finish a test early so I could draw on the back of it. And the kid who would take a question and just add draw pictures, add long stories to stories that just needed to be a sentence. I was finding ways to get this creativity out. And my 4th grade teacher, she, instead of getting mad at me and saying like, do it right, like put some pants on or anything like that, instead she said like, this is really good. In fact, you're so good. We're gonna take your comic strips that you make, and I think they would be good in the high school newspaper. Well, no. No, those guys are cool. Like, no, not mine. And they did. And then she went a step further and said, you know what? Your stories are so interesting. Why don't we send them to the Walt Disney Company? I was like, Walt Disney's dead. I didn't want to be the one to tell you that. But she's like, no, there's other people there. And so she helped me pack things up. She helped me take some of my best stories, some of my favorite drawings. I went home that night and got a cassette recorder, and I recorded me telling stories, doing voices, just being an odd 4th grader. And I came back, and she helped me package that up, and we mailed it. And a couple weeks later, at my house, an envelope came with a return address, had Mickey Mouse on it. It's a Walt Disney feature animation. to Mr. Brad Montague, me, a kid who doesn't get mail, and it's for me. It has Mickey Mouse on it. I go running in the house, and I was like, Mom, I'm gonna be famous. So we got this thing. We open up the envelope, and the letter is addressed to me. It has Mickey Mouse on it everywhere. It says, Dear Mr. Montague, me. Not my dad. We regret to inform you, but we cannot accept submissions from outside sources. This is due to legal obligations, like this whole thing. Sincerely, whoever, Walt Disney Feature Animation. Yes! They got my package! And I'm just like, yay, Mom, they wrote me back. Like, do you think I could go visit? Like, all these things. And it's like, oh, you poor child. Oh. But in the bottom corner, there was a note. It was handwritten, too. This is what it said. I don't know if you can read it. P.S. Thanks for making our day. Keep sharing your voice. Yeah. The exact message my teacher was trying to instill into me. This person, I don't know if it's an intern, I don't know if it's the thing they always do, but they wanted to make sure I got that too. And that stuff sticks with you. I don't know who that teacher was for you, but it was somebody. You're working in education, and it may not have been somebody who was officially in education. It might have been a neighbor, a loving grandparent, an aunt, an uncle. It was somebody who took time, looked at you, and made sure you knew, made sure you connected the dots that they believed in you and that you were capable of loving and doing amazing things. So when amazing things like this happen, and I got to meet Grover, I thought of Miss Debbie, and I got to speak with her and tell her, this is all your fault. You are powerful. You are. Lots of other things are powerful. You're going to learn about so much media, like so many incredible things people are doing with incorporating Minecraft in the classroom. There's another thing I really want to go to where they're talking about the Occupy Mars. Are they in here? Let's be friends. That's so cool. There's so many. You guys blow my mind. And I want you to know, every single one of you, regardless of where you're working or how, you are powerful. And I think you're hearing these words and you're like, that's right, that guy beside me really is. And I'm like, no, yes, you. You are powerful. President Obama, we got invited to the Oval Office, as you do, and and so there we are, and it was interesting because there's something that happened where he went from being president to being a concerned grown-up, asking Robbie about his homework, pets, things he cared about. And there was one moment that will always stick with me. It's where the president was showing him, now this is the Emancipation Proclamation. This was a big part of the process of beginning to free the slaves. And Robbie said, why were there slaves? And I immediately thought, oh no, let's don't get into that right now. Can we not? Can we not? Oh no. And I was really a little embarrassed and wanting to correct that or whatever. And the president did not skip a beat. He got down on his level and he looked at him and he said, I'm so glad you asked that question. Did you know there was a time when people thought it was okay to own other people, make them do things? They thought they were better than them because of what color skin they had. And I'm so glad you're growing up at a time where you think that's crazy. Now let me show you this over here. And it went on. Oh. He said it in a way that did not skip over the darkness. He said it in a way that did not hide from it, but that was honest, that was true, and direct to this kid. And he said it in a way that made me cry. And we look over and there's a Secret Service agent standing at the door and he has a tear he's wiping away too. But simple, powerful connections, interactions like that, there aren't words for. I'm a serial killer, and this is what, no, this is in my office, and one of the things I've been working on, I need to work on my segues, hon, I'll write that down. So one of the things that I've been doing that is just rocking my world is I've been using Skype to connect with 4th grade classrooms. And it has been unreal. So I'm doing this, we're in the midst of a time that's very loud. A time when everybody has opinions about opinions, and there's blog posts about blog posts. And I thought, wouldn't it be cool if one grown-up, just at least one, decided to shut up and listen to some kids? And so we're doing a listening tour. And basically it's just, I have a series of questions, and then I listen to these 4th graders' ideas, and they tell me what they think's hilarious. They like the word but. That's what I'm learning. Some of their favorite songs, what their dreams and hopes are, and what it means to one day be a great grown-up. And they've been teaching me a lot about being a better grown-up, and it's a lot about being a kid. I got to play ukulele with a group of 4th graders too, and it was beautiful. And I'm finding that these dots that I'm trying to connect are only finding that we're connected even deeper than I imagined. So you can choose boring, but you should choose awesome. And you should choose people. I haven't always chosen people. Sometimes I choose things or stuff. I've been learning to choose people. And that in choosing people, it's always been hard for me because I can be a little shy. But when you're inviting people to a party, you're inviting people to a party. Invite everybody to the party. Now, if I were to have a party now, I would invite just my close friends, just a close little circle. But when a kid invites people to the party, it's like, my dental hygienist, the lady down the street, that guy that looked at me, that dog, everybody's coming to the party. And so Robbie's been teaching me that. As we work and we do this project together, it's been about inviting people to a party. And so we had these videos that people were watching online, and then for us, success became not just watching a video, but doing something different. So it wasn't just about what you watched, it was about what happened after you watched it. And so we don't think about them as views, we think about them as heartbeats. And so who are these heartbeats, and what's it gonna make them do and move? And so one of the very first things we did was we were like, well, let's have a big online dance party. So we invited people to send in videos of them dancing, and they did it. It was so incredible that then we said, well, that was fun. Let's see what would happen. What else is contagious? We thought, laughter. So we asked people to send in videos of them laughing, and they did it. Do you remember a time when having things dropped on you was hilarious? It's so great. It was so fun. And then this was unintentional. We were doing call-outs for people to sit in dancing and laughing. And then I told Robbie a story about in college, I shared a mailbox with someone, which I think is illegal. But the college I went to, we shared mailboxes with people. And so I realized my boxmate had not gotten any mail, so I began putting a corn dog in there every day. It's just like, you haven't got any mail, here's a corn dog. And then she started mailing corn dogs back, and other people at school were mailing corn dogs, and Robbie thought that was very funny. So in a video, he said, mail your friend a corn dog. And people did it. And it began this thing where people began having corn dog days at school, Kid President Day, reward days, people mailing actual corn dogs in the mail to people, making little paper corn dogs. It was a corn dog revolution. And I wish, 2 weeks ago, we got a corn dog in the mail that smelled like death. And I was like, I wish we had been more intentional about the revolution we wanted to start. So this stuff started to happen, and we were like, okay, people are connecting, things are happening, people are watching and doing. What if we dreamed up something very cool? A few years before starting Kid President, we started a community project called Socktober. The idea was to activate our community to do something for the homeless shelter in our town so that they could help them get ready for winter. One of the most needed but least donated items is socks. And also, they need things like blankets and other normal basic necessities. And so we started Socktober, and it started small, where people in our town were doing it. Then churches and schools got in the mix the next year. And then by the third year, Kid President had happened. And so I asked if Kid President could declare it Socktober, and he did.
Socks.
So first graders at Van Horn Elementary School are collecting socks during the month of October, which has now been dubbed Socktober. The kids got the idea from a popular video series called Kid President.
This is crazy! We're collecting socks to help the homeless. Happy Socktober! Hi, Kid President. Mom and I just packed a box for the shelter.
Did you know it's Socktober?
So this turned into something I could have never imagined. We're now, for the past 3 years, a Socktober drive has been happening in all 50 states, and more recently, on all continents. Yeah. Unreal. Some of my favorite stories are things where people say, oh, I always passed this man who was homeless every single day, and then just decided because it's Socktober, I would stop and learn his name. And now they eat lunch once a week together as people, connecting. This is a little boy who gave away his birthday. Instead of asking for presents, he asked for socks. And there's different businesses. The Sesame Street Workshop does it with their workers. They have people who said, we're going to activate, we're going to do this. I was on an airplane with Robbie, and a group of kids had noticed us and got excited, and we were talking to them. And then we sat back down, and it was one of those seats where there's 3 seats. So there was Robbie, who gets window because he's a bully, and then myself, and then there was an older gentleman. He's like, I saw those kids were kind of excited about you. What do you guys do? I said, oh, I make silly YouTube videos. It's about how kids and grown-ups can change the world together. And he said, oh, that's interesting. I should tell you about my daughters. And he began to pull out his phone, as people do, and he showed me his daughters. And he's like, we did a project together as a family. They call it Socktober, and we collected socks. We collected socks as a family, as their class, and we took it to the shelter. I had never been, but it was really incredible. And I gave one of my jackets, and I just sat there. I was like, that's a great idea. That is so good. What do you say except, wow? I am continuing to be amazed at how profoundly we are connected. And in that moment, I was reminded it didn't matter who got the credit. It just mattered that it happened. You didn't have to know that, it's just like, wow. And for all most of the world knows, a 10-year-old came up with it, and that's okay, whatever. But there we were, and he shares this story, and I was reminded that the people did this not because there was a prize. There's no incentive other than it's awesome and it helps other human beings. So invite everybody to the party. And be bold when you do so. And you don't have to have much. You don't have to have a lot of stuff. Like, Robbie wanted to do a video with this person named Beyonce. And she's a little hard to get a hold of. And so we got a box of whatever we had, which was some dinosaur chicken nuggets. And we filmed a video where Robbie acted out what it would be like if they did a video together.
Oh, hi, I'm Beyonce. Hi, I'm Kid President. It's so cool we're in a video together. I know, I've been waiting for you to ask me, Kid President. Let's make the world better.
So yeah, I had to edit out several minutes of the dinosaurs kissing and stuff. So we go, I couldn't find a way to connect, and so I went to Beyonce.com, and there was all these different emails, and so I sent an email, and then they wrote back. And they were like, we're coming through Nashville, we can meet up then. I was like, yeah, that sounds great, sure. What have we done? Oh no, this is really happening. There was more security to meet her than there was to go to the White House. There was a whole phone call with one guy who said, so I need you to tell me you're not going to touch Beyonce. It's like, okay, I won't. I need you to verbally say you will not touch Beyonce. All right. I hugged her. So we connect, and this happens. This moment here where he gets, this kiss. That makes it look like she's pushing him away. But it's so much fun. It was this amazing moment. And after this, we released a video, and the team at the United Nations reaches out to us, and they said, so we've been wanting to work with her for a while, trying to connect with her. How did you do that? And I was like, chicken nuggets. Chicken nuggets. That's what you need to do. It will work. I assure you, it will work. So take a chance with what you have. One of the interesting things is after we finished filming, Beyonce looked at me and says, oh, was that okay? I can do it again. And I'm like, you're Beyonce. That was great. It was great. What are you talking about? Yes, I need you to do that again. More perfect? What do you say? And that's a thing that's happened again and again. Whenever we speak, we've gotten to work with some really remarkable people, but over and over, they'll look and they'll be like, is that okay? Am I all right? And I'm finding, regardless of what your position is, you need reaffirming that you're okay. You're very okay. And so I get to hug them and tell them that you're okay. Now, another choice that children make that is not a choice at all, they just do it. It's choosing joy. And you don't have to tell them, okay, come on, laugh, smile, enjoy this. Now, there are times when you're with children and you see a family at Disney World and they're like, come on, smile, we paid money for this. Like, stop. But joy is their natural state. Children laugh and smile and they're full of joy. Robbie has reminded me that again and again and again. And because I think we're friends now, I can share this with you, but I did something really bad. I grew up and I began to kind of think I was sort of a deal. Like I thought, oh wow, I'm impressive, and because I got invited to a fancy dinner, the White House Correspondents' Dinner, right? That's a big deal. Barbara Walters eats there. Matt Lauer was there. We're there, and I'm feeling very fancy, and I'm walking, and then I fall down the stairs. Now, it's not like this like, oh, silly me. It was oh no, is that woman okay? And then they realized the scream that I had made was like, they're like, oh, that's a grown man, and is he okay? And it was this fright, and I immediately get up. I'm like, oh, I'm all right. Hey, hi, Jeff Goldblum. And my immediate response was to be totally mortified, and Robbie's response was this, and I filmed it.
Why are you laughing at me? Not funny.
He laughed so loud that everybody else started to laugh, and then they started to talk, oh, like, yeah, my wife tripped on that yesterday, earlier tonight, and they began to tell other stories about how when they fell, and the balloon of everybody feeling like, oh, we've got to impress each other had been popped, and we suddenly, we're people. We connected. And now sometimes I do things, and I'm trying to learn how to be a kid again, and it humiliates my young friend, but I still do it. Because this is a joyful rebellion. As a family, we call what we do a joyful rebellion. Now, normally when you hear the word rebellion, you think anger, fear. A rebellion is people throwing tea in bodies of water, shooting the Death Star, or like, it's just a rebellion, we're angry, we're mad. But this is a joyful rebellion. We are fueled by joy. A joyful vision for how things could be, for how things should be. So today, I'm not talking to a group of people who work at a school. I'm not talking about people who are administrators or people who are tech gurus. Today, I'm talking to a whole bunch of joy rebels. You're a room full of magicians who released their magic, who shared with people how the world could be. You look at students and you don't necessarily see exactly as they are, even though you accept them as they are. You're ready to welcome them, invite them to joyfully rebel, and let's make the world as it should be. Robbie, most people see and they know this. He loves to dance. The moment he got behind the desk the first time, he immediately rubbed it and started to dance. It was just like, yeah, this feels good. Somebody wants to listen to me. And he loves to dance. But what a lot of people don't know about him is that he has a bone condition. It's called osteogenesis imperfecta. We call it OI. Some people call it brittle bone condition. So he's had over 70 broken bones in his life, several surgeries since he was young. He has rods in both of his legs, and a big reason why he doesn't do events or come is simply because we try to keep life normal for him, as normal as possible, but also his health. Like, he just recently had a major surgery, and in fact, I think this is him talking about that. When we filmed the video you saw at the beginning, the intro, this is him explaining why he can't be here.
What up, Q Conference? Let me hear ya. To the left. Wait, no, that was the right. To the right. To the left. It's like, I can't dance as good as I usually do because I got a cast situation. Yeah, broken bones ain't gonna stop me.
Nothing stopped him. Yeah, so he's been through a lot in his young age. He and his sister is a year older than him, who has the same condition, and both were told that with likelihood of them walking was very slim. And yet, she's a ballerina, and he is a kid president who dances nonstop. And this is him playing baseball in a chair. In the top corner, you see this was one of his first major surgeries, and I was going to be the big, cool grown-up to go in and make him feel better. And I go in, and the kid can't move, and he moves the only things he can. Just smiles at me and dances. That is joyfully rebelling. It's changed my world to see the way he sees the world. I no longer can have a headache and be like, I can't even. I'm not doing it. I can't do that. Because if he can find a reason to dance, I can too. And you can too. And if he can see the world with wonder, I want to too. It's just a tin can and string, but it's so much more. I want to thank you for all the ways you are using everything at your fingerprints, everything at your disposal, whatever it may be. You may have the greatest tech in the universe, or you may be MacGyvering it with paper clips and whatever you can muster. But I know that you are a room full of weirdos and joy rebels who don't just see things, you see opportunities to connect kids to the person they were made to be. And years from now, there will be a conference somewhere, and it'll be full of kids. And when someone says, "Who was it for you? Who was it that connected with you?" in somebody's head, your face will pop up, and their heart will open up, and they'll want to connect in the same wonderful, weird way you do. The world is changed by little people like you and me with big hearts. We found ourselves at the United Nations. They have a piece of the Berlin Wall. It was really powerful to see up close. I had always seen the videos and these walls coming down, this powerful moment, and there we were at the wall, a piece of this wall. And so I had Robbie stand there, and we filmed a poem. It's a poem I'd been trying to teach him, a poem that I keep in my pocket that I had wanted to share, and we had him read it. And today as we close, it's my wish for you. The world is so big. We're all so small. Sometimes it feels like we can't do anything at all. But the wind keeps us going. The wind keeps us sailing. The wind gives us hope. And days like you, I'm looking at my children and can't think. They're beautiful. The wind keeps us sailing. Its love gives us hope. Even though it's dark, we'll keep rowing because people like you whisper, "Keep going, keep going, keep going." Thank you for making the world more awesome.